the placement of the bone in the vise. The tension can be optimized by turning the screw at the end of the lower handle. If the bone is fixed in either too tightly or too loosely, the vise may spring open. This is how the vise may be reclosed. The 4.5 millimeter Cortex screw. For this exercise, the following instruments and implants are required. The 4.5 millimeter drill bit with the double drill sleeve 4.5 3.2 and the 3.2 millimeter drill bit with the same drill sleeve. The 4.5 millimeter countersink. The large depth gauge. The 4.5 millimeter tap with T handle. Again with the double drill sleeve 4.5 3.2. The hexagonal screwdriver with corresponding holding sleeve. And 4.5 millimeter titanium Cortex screws. The Cortex lag screw. The distal part of the bone is clamped into the vise. The proximal cut in the bone will be used. Drill the gliding hole with the 4.5 millimeter drill bit through the near cortex, approximately perpendicular to the fracture line. Insert the 3.2 millimeter drill sleeve and with the 3.2 millimeter drill bit, drill the thread hole through the opposite cortex. Countersink the hole for better seating of the screw head. Measure the depth. The depth of the hole is indicated on the scale. Tap the hole with the 4.5 millimeter tap and corresponding sleeve. The appropriate Cortex screw is chosen, in this case 38 millimeters, and the length is checked. Insert the screw and tighten it. As the screw head comes into contact with the proximal cortex, the gap starts to close. The computer animation further illustrates the mechanism. Note the gliding hole in the proximal cortex. The screw head comes into contact with the bone, and with further tightening, the fracture gap closes. Now the Cortex screw is demonstrated without a gliding hole which does not provide compression. A hole is drilled with the 3.2 millimeter drill bit and drill sleeve through both cortices. The depth is measured. Tapping with the 4.5 millimeter tap and sleeve. Insertion of the 4.5 millimeter Cortex screw. Again, the screw is tightened. The gap will not close because the thread of the screw is engaged in both cortices. This concept is illustrated once again in the computer animation. No occlusion of the fracture gap occurs. Therefore, this procedure should not be practiced in surgery. The 6.5 millimeter cancellous screw applied to the medial tibial head. Required are a K-wire with the triple drill guide, the 3.2 millimeter drill bit with the double drill sleeve 6.5 3.2, the large depth gauge, the 6.5 millimeter tap with T-handle, and the double drill sleeve 6.5 3.2. 6.5 millimeter cancellous screws with short and long threads, a washer and the hexagonal screwdriver with corresponding holding sleeve. Reduce and fix the fragment with a pointed reduction forceps. For preliminary fixation, insert a K-wire parallel to the joint, having previously planned the position of the screw. Drill the thread hole with the 3.2 millimeter drill bit and sleeve without penetrating the opposite cortex. Measure the depth. Tap the near cortex with the 6.5 millimeter tap and sleeve. Insert a 6.5 millimeter cancellous screw with short thread and washer. The threaded portion of the screw must finally be positioned beyond the fracture. The desired compression is achieved by tightening the screw. If the consistency of the bone is dense, a washer may not be required. Remove the K-wire and the reduction forceps. Note the position of the threaded portion of the screw.